the kids are back in school, the stomach bug has finally left my house and everything is back to normal. I'm going to dive into part 2 of the 3 no-fault evictions. I see on Facebook there's a lot of inquiries. I'm trying to address some of those questions. This video is not to prove my point. It's not to try to validate what we went through. It happened. It's not to ask for sympathy because it's over. It is to simply provide you insight as to how my mindset was during each move, what that looked like on the outside, how these private owners are able to get you out of their home, as well as how we accumulated the money to move each time. So hopefully this will answer a lot of your questions. And we can close this chapter so I can move to the recent dating lives. You don't know what that looked like. But the last move we did just go through, that full video is on YouTube. So you don't have to wreck your brain and guess how we navigated that part. I actually showcased step by step how we got out of that house, what happened, what transpired. The first move is probably on my main page, Tina Brooks. I think I have some clips of how we lived in that home because some of y'all think that the way you move indicative of how you lived. Why, I don't know. That's how y'all think. And the second move, everybody know that move. That move was documented. That's the move that landed us houseless. Everything I showcase on this page is already verifiable. I documented in the now. I'm just going behind the scenes of how each owner got their property back. That's basically what this video is about. That's it. And if you got any questions after that, I advise you to research. And if you put something disrespectful into this post, just know you'll be blocked. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my peace and my family. Because those who comment negatively or disrespectfully, I treat you like an enemy. And enemies can't have access to me or my family. Okay, so that's how I think on that. It's not because I can't take constructive criticism, because I take that very well. Because if I did it, I wouldn't be where I am today. I don't take too kind of ugliness, hatred, and disrespect, especially from my own kind. I have zero tolerance for that. Okay, so let's dive into it. Put your listening cap on. I'm trying to go through this fastly. I'm ready to close this chapter for good. Finale. Let's call this the finale. I'm over it. I'm ready to move on, ready to live. Remember, this is my year to fly. Let's fly. This is the first house. We were in this house for 4 years. The owner husband passed away and she decided to sell. She didn't serve us formally. She communicated it to us verbally, came by, and we had a nice relationship with her. So we respected that and we decided to start looking for housing. At the time, I had my brick and mortar. The boys were at home helping with the cooking. And I was bringing in enough money together. Combined, my husband and I, we made about $16,000 a month, give or take, in our businesses. So we decided to try and buy. We went through Signature Lending. We tried to go through Lennar, and come to find out our taxes really messed us up because we wrote off so much when we filed our taxes. It didn't show that we made the money or the take home to cover our mortgage. They both instructed us not to write off so much, and we should be able to buy given the amount of money in our bank account. So in knowing that, we let the owner know that we are going to need to rent, and she told us that she had a friend who was renting his 6-bedroom because he was trying to get settled in another state. In between moves, house hunting, working, I would try to gut the house on my downtime. So it's not going to be uniform. What you see was piles of trash, things we were not taking because ultimately we were going to rent a big old bin to throw all of the trash away. I often used to question about sharing my journey and what people would think, but you must really question yourself. What kind of person can you be to drag a mother who's trying to share her journey in her healing? What you see here was everything we were going to take to the new house. The house was literally around the corner, so we didn't need to do any formal packing. We felt the trash bags was going to be the easiest way we can load the truck and just make as many trips as possible. Deli and Trail were the only ones who had their room mostly packed. They were ready to go. They were just waiting for everybody else to get on board. Most of my kids, they need a hands-on guide. I have to be there to help them. And if I'm missing or if I'm at work, they're not going to do it themselves. This is the trash bin I was talking about. And we decided to spend our last night in this house doing some drills with Kels. At this time, this was Coach Kels. He was doing drills with Raya. And we really love this house. We have so many memories in this 4 years of this house. This was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Chop right here. Go left, go left.
Yeah, Taka.
Chop your feet. Chop your feet right here.
Yeah. At the time, I was still doing everything alone in the studio and on the home front, and God told me to close my brick and mortar. This is us moving to the new house. Like I told you, it was literally around the corner, so we used our car and made multiple trips.
Hey, 3 stoves, 2 ovens. Man, before you mess that up.
No, it's 2 flames.
3 flames. 3.
I broke the news to my clients and let them know this would be our last open studio, that I have made the decision to close the brick and mortar. And then I would go back home and make more trips to unload into the new house. Once we got settled in, Anthony moved out, y'all. Like, I wasn't expecting this. He just threw this at me. He told me he had to leave because he is having a baby. So in my mind, y'all, I'm thinking like, she's barely pregnant. He just want to be a part of the pregnancy and the birth. He sends me this picture, y'all. He didn't went down there and had a baby. All that matter. This was my brick and mortar. This is me packing up everything that needs to be hauled off to the house we just moved into the storage, because we really didn't have a place for it. I had to heal from my son moving, from closing my brick and mortar. Those 2 things almost took me out. I tried to hold classes at my home, but it didn't work out. And right then and there, I got hit with COVID-19. This was right before Christmas of 2022, and right around DJ's birthday. So I was down all the way until January, when I got up, and y'all seen that video of how my house was. Look, I had to become a drill sergeant. Like, y'all fit to learn how to do this stuff, because ain't no way this house should have looked like this with me just being in my room sick. But they got up, they didn't care that, my kids' hands on. I have to be there encouraging them, pumping their heads up. And doing it this way eliminates the attitudes, eliminates the anger, and me having to raise my voice, just showing them like, this is y'all stuff. Y'all have nice stuff. Take care of it. Ain't no girl gonna want y'all if you nasty like this. Stuff like that I would joke about. Life was good. I was finally feeling my groove. Like, I was the mama. I was hands on. I was cooking every day, just showing up fully in my home since I closed my brick and mortar.
Your hair the way move. That's a video now.
I was still operating as a solo parent. At the time, it didn't feel that bad. Like, we had this big old 6-bedroom house. Everyone had their routines and schedules. And I was mainly just picking up toys. It was so much toys that I had bought when we were at the previous house. And we just finally had the space for them. Well, not really, but we still had a place for them. And I would shampoo every week. I had my routine set. The kitchen and island was always still the eyesore. I had decided to start vlogging around this time, and this was me taking y'all along with me a day in my life as a mom of 9 who is trying to recover from closing her brick and mortar, but this was the most I thought I was going to be sharing with you guys, just showing y'all how I knock out each day with taking my kids to school, cleaning the house, cooking, stuff like that. A regular, typical mom vlog. At this time, Markel was encouraging me to put a little face on, like make myself look good in front of the camera. Like, Mama, you about to be in front of all these people. You got to look like something. So I was like, okay, I got to get up. I got to put some eyebrows on. I got to make sure my hair is done. And I just set up the camera and started taking y'all along with me. I had this in time lapse, so there wasn't no voiceovers then because I was still very much insecure, but I was still confided with Markel. Like, how should I do this? But Markel was going through his own thing I didn't know he was going through. He started wilding out. This boy wrecked his car. It was on the meeting and it got told, like, this boy, I don't know what Kels was going through at the time, but I confided in my bro. And he gave me some guidance like, look, sis, this is what boys do. So I left it alone and I dove back into my regular routine, taking y'all how I did the breakfast. And then Markel started coming around with us to the parks and getting in the vlogs with us. And it was in that I finally said, oh, this is my purpose. Being a stay-at-home mom, finding my joy in my kids' well-being. being present in their sole existence. Because when I had my brick and mortar, I didn't see the boys as much. I'd seen the girls every day because I had to take them with me to work. I didn't have a sitter consistently. So they were with me at work, feeling that stress because I was a mom at that time who was a people pleaser and tried to uphold this image that I thought the other people wanted to see. So I was very strict. I was firm. They couldn't let their hair down. I was just very hard to be around. That's why the boys wouldn't come. We still had our birthday parties. I still was the parent who was up all night with a sick baby so my husband could sleep so he can go to work. You could squeeze the lemons on all of them. So at the time, I just knew my place as a stay-at-home mom. So the role that society places on you, this is what you're supposed to do: the cooking, the cleaning, the raising of the kids while the men go out and work, right? Yeah. So that's what I did, and then my marriage broke. Something happened. It broke me, broke the marriage, broke the home. And in this moment, I discovered the more you pour into people, the more they will drain you. This pour needs to be reciprocal. If not, they are just going to take. Markel forced me to invest in self-care. This is the moment I invested in self-care. Decided to do my hair. Markel had me throw out all old clothes from the wardrobe. I started to declutter this house because I just needed to have some space to heal from the hurt. This is hurt from closing my brick and mortar, hurt from my son moving out, and hurt from the hurt in the marriage. At this time, my hair was still okay. I started putting it in a 2-strand twist so I can be on camera unapologetically my natural self. And when I started feeding my girls affirmation, because at the end of the day, no matter what a man do, you got to love yourself. I went back to school. I went back to work, but this time I was holding classes inside of a friend's building. And that didn't work out too much because I was still so very hurt. The boys started really being around me. I guess they felt that hurt and didn't want me to be alone. And then I went mobile with my studio. Like, look, I am not the woman that's going to wallow and pout. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get to work. I know who I am. And this is a hustler. My boys started wilding out because when the marriage is broken, the kids have this room, this wiggle room, this freedom to do as they please because the focus ain't on what they're doing. They know you are going through something and they're going to do what they want to do. I still did all the household chores. I still kept myself busy because I was not falling back into that depression that I first escaped from. And then I started picking up classes once my old clients learned that I was mobile. I would go to their house and we were hit with a notice to move. The owners needed to come back. So I was like, oh, Lord, is this my sign that we need to go our separate ways? But then Delvon got hurt and God's voice spoke to me loud and clear and said, be still. And that's when I knew I had to focus. I had to let go of all that hurt, all that baggage, and focus on my son's healing because this is crucial. This can make or break Delvon. And the last thing we need in this world is another angry, black, unhealed man. This landed us houseless, and this was hurt on top of hurt, on top of hurt, on top of hurt, on top of hurt. So when we moved into this 3-bedroom house, initially I was numb. Depression was knocking at my door. And this was my year of war and fight. And every day in this 3-bedroom for a year straight, I fought that depression. I wake up, face it head on, and then we was hit with a move. By the grace of God. Another no-fault eviction because the owner's housing situation didn't work out in the state they were in. We are now renting through a realty company, praying this provides the stability we need to work towards buying. When you ask yourself, why is this happening to me, Lord? Why you don't bless me like I bless others? It's because God sees the mess that we can't see, and he can't bless us in mess. God had to reveal things in my marriage and in my kids and in me. Will we ever buy? I don't know. You have to journey with us and see.